welcome to this video. Today we'll be discussing about the mean of the two series altogether, how you can use it to find the mean of the entire series. Alright, so before we go for this concept, we will quickly revise what we had spoken about in the last video. So we had spoken about arithmetic mean as well as the arithmetic mean using shortcut method. So you know that arithmetic mean is one such value which may represent most of the values or almost all values in the entire distribution, or it is one such value around which most of the values of the distribution are surrounded. So that is the meaning of arithmetic mean, and arithmetic mean also makes you to understand the entire representation. That one value represents the total distribution, that is nothing but arithmetic mean. Okay, so now we'll discuss about among those one distribution you are making two series. So from the entire distribution you are making two series, and for those two series individually if you find the mean, okay, then in that case how you can find the mean of the entire distribution. So now look at this, the sum, so the mean of all the sums or difference is equal to the sum of the means itself. So now for example you have make two series from the entire distribution, and this way you find the summation of all the elements from one series and summation of all the elements from the another series. Then this total is or their difference is equal to the summation of all of them. So to find the mean, we have to divide it by the number of elements, that is n. So now if you make it into two series, so then one series will have the number of elements n1 and another will have the number of elements n2. So ultimately n1 plus n2 will give you the n itself. So now after dividing it by the number of elements, this generalized formula is like this. So this is the arithmetic mean of the entire distribution. Then here, by using the two series along with the two elements, you can find the mean in this way as well. Okay, so the same thing is expressed in the two series form, and at the end you divide it by the summation of both the series elements. Then this will give you the again mean of the entire distribution, how this formula gives you the mean of the entire distribution. So now based on this we will solve some problems, then you would understand. So let me first write the problem. Okay, so the problem given is like this. out of the total population in one particular town, 60% of the population belonged to the higher middle class, rest of them belong to the lower middle class, and their mean income is 95,000 of higher middle class of per month and 45,000 of the lower middle class. Then we have to find the mean income of the entire town. Okay, so in the entire town, they have given two series or two groups, you can say. So one group is like 60% of the distribution, another is obviously 40% of the distribution, and their separate average of income is given. Now we need to find out the average of the entire distribution. So now don't make a mistake that we are not going to just add 95 and 45. So it's not the average of 95,000 and 45,000. It is the average where 95,000 is the average of 60% of the elements and 45,000 is the average of 40%, and we have to find the average of the entire distribution. So we are going to use the same formula. Okay, so this is the entire distribution of summation of x by n, then we need to substitute the values here. So on right hand side, what are the values required are n1, n2 and x1, x2. So these are the values required. So now n1, n2, x1, x2. So n1 and x1 are belonging to one portion or one series. n2 and x2 are belonging to another series. So x1 and x2 with bar it is given. That is the meaning of mean. So the mean of x1 series and mean of x2 series along with n1 and n2. And n1 plus n2 is nothing but equal to n. So n is the total number of elements in the distribution. So now here the total number of distributions are not given, but we are talking in the case of percentile, that is 60% and 40%. So we can assume here the total number or total elements would be 100. Alright. So then if we consider N1 is the group of the higher middle class families, then it is already given as 60%. So from 100, 60% would be directly 60 here. Then definitely N2 would be 40. So these are the things we derived from this passage. Then the next thing is x1 bar. So now N1 we are relating with 60% audience, I mean 60% distribution. So x1 bar would be 95,000 and then x2 bar would be 45,000. Okay, so we have got all four values. Then we have to just substitute the values in the summation. So now we have to find x bar. So N1 is 60 into 95,000 plus 40 into 45,000 divided by 60 plus 40. Okay, so this gives you So the final answer, the mean of the entire town, what we have calculated is 75,000. So this is how you have to calculate the mean when two series of the one distribution are given. Okay, so in this way, now here the given values are very simple. These two values are given along with their means. Okay, now there are some such examples where you will be applying the same formula, but the given things would be different. Okay, all right. So it may happen that along with these details, it is also given with the mean of the entire distribution, and you might be asked to calculate the values of n1, n2. So that's also possible. So basically, when from the entire distribution, you make two series, that series are making together one distribution. In that case, we have to apply this formula in the case where we have to find the arithmetic mean. All right. So hope you have understood this example. Okay, so this is a different kind of problem. Missing frequency is this new concept. How do you find a missing frequency from the distribution when remaining frequencies are given along with its arithmetic mean? Okay. Now we have already studied how do you observe the frequency pattern. So by observing the frequency pattern, we could also predict where could be the value of arithmetic mean, in which class, near to which point, or inclined towards right or towards left. So that all we have studied about observing the frequency pattern. So looking at the frequency pattern, if the frequency pattern is normally distributed, then we expect the arithmetic mean in the central part, and that too if distribution is again more towards right side. So again at the central part, in the most central value, arithmetic mean could be near to the central value but inclined towards right side. Okay, so this is how we have already studied about. Now look at these three things. So say this is the frequency graphs given, and from all three of them one value is missing. Now look at the first one. So here there is a steady, there is no increment in the frequency, then it increases, then again steady, then it increases. Then there is one value is missing here. So this value we need to find out. So what pattern tells? So the previous thing tells that there is a steady frequency, then increase, again steady and then increase, and then you may expect one more steady step, and then there is a drop in the frequency. So this is how one possibility to understand to predict about the missing frequency here. Now if you look at this, it is increase and decrease. Okay, then again there is a considerable increase and little decrease, and then there is missing here, then we have the remaining. So by studying the pattern of frequencies, one of the possible thing here is again we can show one increase and then decrease. Okay, then the last one is more steady compared to other two frequency patterns. So we have almost steady, some fluctuations which is it can be increase or decrease, and again at the tail it is decreasing gradually. So this is how the frequency patterns are. So considering those frequency patterns, we may predict or we may guess the missing frequency value. Okay, so then look at this example. Class intervals are given from 0 to 10, 10 to 20 of the 10 width each, and the frequencies are given as 12, 8, 27, question mark, then 17 and 6. So the frequency pattern for the given problem is like this: 12, 18, 17. So it is increasing. Then missing frequency, you don't know whether it is still increasing, whether it is steady or again it is decreasing. We don't know. But 17. So 27, one missing, and then 17. That gives a big drop, and then 17, then 6. So you may expect that this frequency pattern is normally distributed. So if you expect it to be normally distributed, then the missing frequency would be definitely less than 27. So that will give you the correct normal curve. Okay, now in this case, look at the one more information given, that is arithmetic mean given as 28. So if the arithmetic mean of the total distribution is 28, and if you look at the class from 20 to 30, which is having the maximum frequency. Okay, and even the arithmetic mean is from the same class. So in this case, arithmetic mean is from the class 20 to 30 with maximum frequency. How I can say it is maximum frequency? Because the arithmetic mean is from that class. So we can still say 27 is the maximum frequency. So the missing frequency cannot be more than 27. So this is for sure, looking at the value of arithmetic mean. Next thing, arithmetic mean is 28. So the middle point of 20 and 30 is 25. Arithmetic mean is towards right side, little inclined towards right, that is 28. So the reason is we have three classes with 12, 18, 27, and the remaining three classes with 30, 40, 40, 50 and 50, 60. So if we consider the 20, 30 at the central class, on the right side of the central class we have three more classes, and on left side we have only two classes. So the more distribution is towards right side or the second half, that is after the central class. So it is quite natural that we can have arithmetic mean again near to the central value in the class with highest frequency, but again inclined towards little right side, because frequency distribution in such a way that first half is less than the second half, and second half is contributing more to the distribution. So now first let me denote this missing frequency as F1. Okay, so now let me calculate the arithmetic mean for this. Then we will use that formula, and then we will also have this F1 value, and arithmetic mean is already given. So from the formula of arithmetic mean, where LHS is already given, then we'll try to find out the value of F1. So to find the arithmetic mean of grouped data, first thing we need to calculate is midpoints of all these classes. So let me add one more column called as, say, midpoint. So you know midpoint is lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So this gives me the midpoint 5. This gives me 15, 25, these are the midpoints we have calculated. Okay, so now there are two ways to find the arithmetic mean. One is by using assumed mean method, and another by using the normal method. So if you go for the normal method, what happens? You can directly multiply f into m. And if you go for assumed mean method, we will assume one value from the midpoint as mean, and then we'll find the deviations, and deviations will divide by 2. So what happens in the case of assumed mean? So you get the deviations and again divided by the class width. Sorry, deviations we divide by the class width. So that gives you very smaller values, and those smaller values you multiply with frequency. But in this case, this midpoint itself you multiply with frequencies will give you the larger values. So we'll go for the approach of assumed mean method. So in the case of assumed mean, we need to find the deviation and divide that deviation by class width. Okay, so now first we have to assume the mean among them. So now we don't know this frequency, and from the known frequencies, this is the maximum. It is still coming in the central part. And we also know that assumed mean, the actual mean is in the same class. So let me assume mean. Let me consider it as 25. So here I need to find out this m minus my assumed mean divided by width of the class, which is 10. Okay, so that is nothing but our x dash. So this would be my x dash. So 5 minus 25 is minus 20 divided by 10 gives you minus 2. 15 minus 25 is minus 10 divided by 10 gives you minus 1. So this will give you 0, then this will give you 1, then 2, and then 3. Okay, so my x dash is ready. Now these all the values of x dashes I have to multiply with frequencies. So here I add one more column called as fx dash. So this gives me minus 24. This gives me minus 18. This gives me 0. F1 into 1 gives me just F1. This gives me 34. And this gives me 18 again. Okay, so now let me add all the frequencies and all fx dash values. So if I add all the frequencies, now how can I add f1? We need to keep f1 as it is. We'll be just setting it as f1 plus the sum of all remaining elements. So this gives me this gives me 80. So total summation would be 80 plus f1. So this will be sum of all the frequencies. Similarly, we have to find out sum of all fx dash. So this minus 18 and this 18 gets cancelled. Then 34 minus 24 gives you plus 10. And this f1 as it is. So this gives you 10 plus f1. Okay. So this summation is very simple. We have found 80 plus f1 and there we have found 10 plus f1. And we know that actual mean is 28. So my arithmetic mean formula, while using the assumed mean, is this way. This is arithmetic mean. Then we have here assumed mean plus summation of fx dash divided by summation of f into I. So fx dash we have calculated, summation of f is also calculated, into I is the width of the class. And width of all the classes, as we have seen, are 10 each. So arithmetic mean given value is 28. Assumed mean is our 25 plus summation of fx dash is 10 plus f1, and this is 80 plus f1. So this is my substitution. 10 plus f1 is summation of fx dash. 80 plus f1 is summation of f into 10. 10 is the width of the class. 25 is our assumed mean we had considered. Then 28 is the actual mean given. Okay. So hope you have understood all the substitution. Now hereafter we have to solve to get the value of f1. Now look at that. 10 plus f1 divided by 80 plus f1 into 10. And for multiplication is possible anyhow. With fraction and whole number, with denominator or without denominator, you can multiply. So let me first multiply 10 here. So this gives me 25 as it is. This 100 plus 10 f1 divided by 80 plus f1. Okay, and this is 28. Now the next thing is, I cannot add 25 directly here. 25 is having the denominator 1 and here having the denominator 80 plus f1. So we need to find the LCM. To find the LCM of 1 and anything, the LCM is always anything. I mean the LCM of 1 and something is always something. So 80 plus f1 would be the LCM. So this entire thing I need to multiply with 25. So what do I get here is 28 is equals to 25 into 80 plus f1 plus 100 plus 10 f1. This is as it is. Alright. Then this whole thing, now we have the common denominator, that is 80 plus f1. Now this common denominator, now I can shift it at LHS. So let me shift this entire thing to LHS. So what I get here is this way. 28 into 80 plus f1 is equals to, now let me multiply this 25 inside. So if you multiply 25 inside, so this 25 into 80 gives you 2000. Plus 25 f1 plus 100 plus 10 f1. Okay, so this I can still solve. 25 plus 10, so here I get 35 f1 plus 2100. This is what I have calculated. And let me multiply this 28 inside. So this gives me mm, so this gives me 2240 plus 28 F1 is equals to 35 F1 plus 2100. So we need to calculate the value of F1. Now look at the F1. We have two coefficients for F1. One is 35, another is 28. So the larger one we are not going to shift. We'll shift the smaller one at the larger side. Then the 2100 also will shift this side. So 35 F1 minus 28 F1 is equals to so this gives you 7 F1 is equals to 140. Therefore F1 gives you 140 divided by 7, and then F1 gives you 20. So finally we have calculated the value of the missing frequency as F1 is equals to 20. Alright. So then we were, anyways we had we had assumed that the pattern of the frequencies is in the normal pattern, that is 12, 18, 27, and 27 we had assumed that that would be the maximum value. Then the next value we have calculated is 20. So it is a complete normal form like 12, 18, 27, 20, 17, 6. So this is the correct way, and we are assumed the value also in the correct way. So this way you need to calculate the value of missing frequency. Now there could be problem with two missing frequencies. In that case also you will get two values on every summation there, and that may give you two equations. Then how we have solved in the previous problem, that one equation we multiply with some number to match the coefficient. In that way we can solve when two values or two frequencies will be missing. Alright. So then the same problem we can solve by another method. Like now here I have used the assumed mean method. If you do not want to use assumed mean method, so directly you can go there F into M. So those two columns will be discarded. You will have only one column there as F into M. So what happens into F into M? You will have 60, then 18 into 15, then 27 into 25, then you will have 35 F1 and remaining things. So there you will have the summation of Fm. Then in the assumed mean formula there would not be assumed mean and there would not be the width of the class. So if you go for the normal method, so you will have arithmetic mean is equals to Fm divided by summation of Fm divided by summation of F. That's it. So you'll have only two values there. So that way also you can try and you can find out whether you get the same answer for the missing frequency or you get a different answer. So all of you please try in that way as well. Alright. So that's all for this video. So in the next video we'll go for the next concept. So the concept related to arithmetic mean we have completed. Alright. So till then practice the given examples, solve examples you practice on yourself. Also practice the given examples given in notes. Practice the examples by different methods. So if you practice more, then only you are able to cope up with this subject. Only watching the video will not help you. You have to literally practice many number of examples, then only it will give you confidence to solve these examples or to write exams on this particular subject. So alright, so we'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself, avoid large gatherings, follow all the guidelines. Thank you.